Educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com. It's the Contagious Optimism Show with inspiring host Sunny Chayes, featuring best-selling author David Mezzapelle. Real people with real stories of perseverance and hope. Join Sunny and guests ranging from Contagious Optimism co-authors to world leaders as they find the silver lining. Better understand why optimism is so empowering. Be recharged, inspired, and perhaps surprised as they tap into the secrets of a joyful life. To celebrate the human spirit. Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific on UBN Radio and Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific on Gwen Network TV Stories. Contagious Optimism.
Okay, guys, it's Sunny Chayes, and you got quite a mouthful there, so you know what's up, and you are with UBN today. We're in the beautiful Hollywood area, and I have two really cool guests with me today, one in studio and one who's going to call in, and lots going on in the world right now, so I hope you guys are paying attention. You know, Marianne's running for Congress, and now Henry Waxman's dropped out, so other people have jumped in, so this just gives us an opportunity to be reading, checking stuff out, knowing what's up, and making very intelligent, informed, clever decisions again in an optimistic way, knowing that everything's going to work out great, and let's be participating. So with that, I want to get right to our musical mega minstrel, Harold Payne. Harold, you made laugh. He said that's a little bombastic, but I'm the host, so I can say whatever I want.
Alliteration is cool, though.
Well, I figured you'd like that. So Harold Payne is a great singer-songwriter. I'm sure many of you guys have heard him and seen him singing and participating in New Thought churches all around the country and internationally. He's been at many events, sort of political ones, inspirational ones, fundraising ones, all kinds of things, bringing his brilliance, his spirituality, and his musicality in a brilliant way. And there are many more things I'm going to say about Harold. We have CDs here and all that, but I just kind of want to get to it. So without any further ado, let us bring you on the show, Harold Payne.
I'd like to thank each and every one of you. Thank you.
So we're here. Whoa. We're going to figure out how to wind that applause out a little more. So, Harold, thanks for joining me here.
My pleasure, of course.
We've done a lot to schedule this live. A couple of weeks ago, you were here calling in when we had Faith Rivera, the wonderful Faith Rivera, and
my
her
good friend,
amazing musical producers, Teddy. What's his last name?
You know.
Oh my gosh, Jacobs. Goodness gracious. So anyway, so beautiful to have you here. And
thank you.
You actually are co-producer with me on this show, Contagious Optimism. David Mezzapelle was really excited about having you on the show because he just said to me so many times how you really embody, sing about, and just really understand the concept of contagious optimism, and especially as a movement, you know, not just as an expression or a book that is now out, best-selling book, and soon another one will be out, but really as a way of life and as a movement. So do talk to that.
As you can see, my glass is half full, by the way. Speaking of
yes,
optimism.
he's showing it to the camera for those who are not seeing. It is indeed half full.
Well, I guess I was tapping on it so you could get the sound.
I like it. Well, we're all of it now. We're live stream TV, radio. We don't even call it a radio show anymore. We're live stream TV, people. Yeah. So yes, carry on with the half full concept.
Well, I've always been a pretty optimistic, positive, happy kind of a guy, and a while back I remember thinking about, I'd gone to a class where they talked at UCLA, my alma mater, but this was like an extension class, and they talked about making your own album. And at the time, the teacher talked about the difference between concept-oriented and artist-oriented. And I thought, well, that's interesting. She said you could put an album out that has your picture on, but if you're an independent artist or something and people don't know who you are, why would they buy it other than the cover art? But if you have a concept that says, I don't know, Beatles ballads on hammered dulcimer, then people know what it is, and it could be for sale in the post office if you wanted to, and because there's a concept to it. So my mind kind of went, well, I had a little label, and I had my group Gravity, and my own products and CDs, and I thought, well, what would be a concept that would unify it all together? And I looked back over all the years, and positive music is what rang true to me. So this is a while back, and I was still able to get positivemusic.com, the website, and put out this CD called The Power of Positive Music. And that was kind of the beginning of me recognizing that all roads had kind of led in that direction for me musically. I like all kinds of music, and I've done a lot of different things and continue to do a lot of different things, but that is one area, the positive music arena, that I'm particularly interested in.
Well, and of course, singing at certain places where you have the New Thought churches, the Unity churches, the Church of Religion and Science churches. I mean, these are the places where you have a good audience for that kind of thing, right? I mean, and yet people do come. Not always are people coming with a great idea that the glass is half full. You know, a lot of people come in all different feelings and emotions to places like that, and looking for upliftment, looking for a positive message, looking for some oomph, you know, something, or even to cry, you know, even to be cathartic, to move through
I like
something.
oomph. Yeah, I'm sure there's an acronym in there. You know.
Oh yeah, well, I'll write that down.
Yes.
Is that UMPH? I think.
Or is it OOMPH?
Okay,
whatever it
well, I'm
is.
writing both.
Whichever acronym is, whichever is most acronym friendly.
Okay, I
Use
got
that
them
one.
both down. We'll work on that. But yeah, don't you think? So that's been your job in a way.
Well, yes, but I would say that the music that I write is more universally positive and not necessarily jargon heavy. You know, that if whatever, whether it's a church of any kind or any situation, I'm happy to come and play if they feel that the music fits in. It happens that there is a community, the positive music community, that overlaps somewhat with the New Thought community, Unity churches and the like, and there's a nice community there with which I've had a lot of exposure. So it's a really nice thing to be able to know that you can go anywhere in the country and have a home to go to play for people and get a built-in audience. So it's a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, and like I'm saying about your music and about the concept of optimism and having it be, again, contagious. And in a bit, we're going to have Becky Woodbridge call in, and we're going to be talking about it in a kind of a psychological, you know, sort of deep way. And again, though, I think that sometimes people think of it as just something, you know, when we use the expression, it's just light and airy and fun. And it can be, and at some point it, you know, will be for everyone. And again, there are times when people are just not in that place or need something to bridge them or bring them, or you know, sort of holding a hand and bringing someone somewhere. And I know that when I've heard you sing in different places, that is, you may not be aware of it, but as an audience member, I know there are many people there who really appreciate assistance in that way, and that's what you bring. Well,
thank you. I feel that my mission is to make people feel better going out than when they came in, and that simple goal is to me is simple and profound, and that's if I do that, then it makes me feel like I've accomplished something. So that's really where the rubber meets the road for me, as far as contagious optimism and positivity and just what music can do to touch people's lives.
And at this point, so thank you, and I know you do that really brilliantly and often, and in a very fun way a lot of times, and like you say, it's simple and profound, feeling that that people are leaving a little better than they came in, that it is true. It is simple, and it is very profound at the same time. And again, as we know, the ripple effect, you know, somebody who comes in and they're very sad and miserable about something, or they've had something really tragic happen in their life or something, and they come to a meeting, they buck up and they put their, you know, PF flyers on and get out the door and get somewhere, or their stilettos and get somewhere. And then there you are. They really can leave. And I know it's happened for me many times where I've maybe been low about something and come in and heard some amazing musician like you and just even being in the community with the people, clapping and singing and coming in on the chorus and, jumping around, maybe just all of the endorphins, all of the energy just does shift. And again, being in community and singing in harmony and all of that makes a big difference, I think, in just shifting the energy of the humanoid.
Do you concur? In accordance, I concur with that. In fact, I really feel that very much so the gratitude of the fact that the audience is the other half of the music. And seriously, I really appreciate the audience because there's a lifting and a back and forth energy that lifts each other. And obviously, we'll be playing to a vacuum or to a mirror or to an empty room if there weren't an audience. And it really does make a huge difference. And what I try to do often when I'm playing somewhere, if it's an intimate enough setting, I'll have a conversation with some people, and then I'll go. Improv is my thing, and I'll go make up a song about them, and they won't realize that I'm going to do that. I'm just talking to somebody, and they go, "Yeah, we met, 11 years ago, and he was an IT specialist, and I was a flight attendant, and he was in the third row or whatever," and then I make up a song about it. And
so I guess we're going to do that today. And I may even ask John to tell you something, our engineer. So John, be kind of thinking a little bit about something, and this is totally improv because John is now getting a little red and not knowing that I was going to do that.
We don't want anyone to think that there's a shill in the audience.
Yeah, there's
so
no
find
shill
some way
in
to make it.
I just did,
okay.
Didn't I, John?
Yeah, you did.
And he is turning red.
Yes, he is turning
I'm a
red.
chameleon.
So, John, just think about a little something you want to say, and in a minute we're going to be saying it, and then we're whipping the guitar out.
Just to finish
right.
that thought, the cool thing about making up songs for people is that it's kind of complete cycle because I record it on my iPhone. Thank you, technology. Mm-hmm. And they'll say, "God, I wish I had a recording of that." And I go, "Well, I have it here. Give me your email address, and I can send it to them right on the spot." And that's really a fun thing to do.
Well, that's why I call you a minstrel, because a modern-day minstrel, because that's sort of that idea. I mean, minstrels of old were really the storytellers of the time. Right. And in some ways, they were not just the storytellers, but they were sort of the newspaper people. I mean, they were bringing the news from town to town or from people to people or village to village. So in that way, you do that. You don't specifically do it with the news of the day, but you do it with the spirits. So that's why I call you that. So you can borrow that and run with it if you want.
Thank you.
So while you are drinking your glass half full of water, and
I'm so optimistic that this glass is
continuing to be half full.
It's 1/4 full.
We may have to ask Garcon to bring in some more water for you as possible. So your guitar is near you.
Yes, it is.
Your guitar's
usually
always
is.
near you. Yes, indeed. So while you're picking it up and you guys figured out what's up with the mics and the plugging in,
okay.
If you want to tell us maybe a little story while you're playing a C and a G in the background, but maybe a quick, sort of story that brought you from the dark to the light, or where you found the silver lining in the clouds.
And sing about it? Sing a song about it? Or
Oh, wow. Whatever you want to do. If you want to sing about it or speak about it, hey, if you want to just go for it, I say go for it. What do you think, John?
That sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I'm just trying to think of a...
I love this. So spontaneous people out there. You have no idea.
This is a song about being a musician. And it's kind of like when people come up and they say either something like, "Well, what do you do in the daytime?" Or... or "I hope you make it someday," or like as if making one's career for a number of decades, for my life, doing something I love isn't success. In my eyes, that's what it is. But I wrote this with my friend Corinne May, who's from Singapore, actually, which just goes to show it's a universal concept. I know you're concerned about the path that my life is taking, but the lessons I've learned are worth more than the money I'm not making. I'm gonna take the time to live my dreams. I wouldn't change my life for anything. So don't worry about me, I'm doing alright. It may look like I'm struggling, but I'm loving this life, and I won't die if I don't make history. I'm right where I wanna be, so don't worry about me.
Woo! Okay.
Don't worry about me. In spite of how it appears, I haven't taken a vow of poverty. It's not your average career, but it's cheaper than getting therapy. I'm not waiting till some moment arrives. It's not the destination, it's the ride. So don't worry about me, I'm doing alright. It may look like I'm struggling, but I'm loving this life, and I won't die if I don't make history. I'm right where I wanna be, so don't worry about me. Don't worry about me. My existence is not measured by the things that I possess, but by the person I become. So I'm gonna follow my heart wherever my passion leads me. If I have to swim with some sharks, I'm not gonna let them bleed me. And no matter how far I get, I won't be drowning in an ocean of regret. So don't worry about me, I'm doing alright. It may look like I'm struggling, I'm loving this life, and I won't die if I don't make history. I'm right where I wanna be, so don't worry about me.
Okay, I won't.
Don't worry about me.
Are you sure?
I'm just doing what comes naturally.
Okay, I
Don't
like
tell
it.
me I'd probably be doing this for free. Don't you worry.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry if I hit the microphone with my hand. I can't help it, I'm a one-man band. But don't worry about me.
Ooh.
All right,
I like it. Oh my God, that's so cool.
Thank you.
Okay, you know what? That's so awesome because again, the idea of what is success, and I talk about that all the time because I think living in the Western world, living in the Eastern world, living in all the different places of this beautiful planet that we have, and what is success. I remember one time I was doing a seminar actually, and it was about money, and it was about getting more money, and it was a business thing, and we had a piece of paper that we received, and we had to write down, it was very interesting, on the left side were all of our body parts, basically, like your left eye, right eye, left ear, right arm, all of that.
Left
and
ventricle.
then they asked on the right side for us to put a dollar amount. Whoa. Oh, whoa. Wow. So, that was a very interesting process to go through. And of course, everything is invaluable. So the idea, how rich are we? Well, there you go. If we added up all the amounts, it's an infinite amount of money. So, just again, knowing that it's about community and love and all of that, and that is success. So I would call you very successful.
Well, thank you very much.
You look very successful today. You look very dapper. And your guitar.
Well, thank you. I didn't want to come here, shabbily attired.
And also, we have a call in. Let's see. Who is calling us? Hello, person. Hello, person.
Hi, it's Becky.
Oh, Becky, you're calling us a bit early. Well, that's cool. I wasn't expecting you for a bit, but I'm happy to receive you. Well, while you're on the phone, Becky, I have to introduce you. Because because nobody knows who you are. Guys.
Oh, yes, they do.
Well, some people do. That's true. Thank you for correcting me, because that's true. There are many Contagious Optimism people who are listening who know who Becky Woodbridge is. But I have to say, okay, I'm just going to read your bio that you sent me. Is that okay?
Oh, absolutely.
As a professional speaker, trainer, and coach, Becky has a unique viewpoint from the stage as well as behind the scenes as the organizer of TEDx Boca Raton, an independently organized TED event, and the director of Contagious Optimism Live, which is going to be coming up here on April 4th.
Yeah. Yes.
Becky is also a co-author of Contagious Optimism, the book series, and author of the upcoming book, Confessions of a Sky Bitch. I can't wait to hear about that. She resides in Boca Raton and with her daughter, EJ, who is a little munchkin, and I can't wait to meet. So, Becky, come and join our conversation, our party here. Hello. And David's out there listening. It's somewhere in Boca Raton land. So this is
Jupiter.
Great. In Jupiter,
yeah,
yes.
Of all places, yes.
Perfect. So, Becky, we were chatting on the way over here. And first of all, it's awesome that you're putting together the first Contagious Optimism live event. And Harold Payne will be there performing, and I will be there co-hosting. And, Becky, you are the organizer of this shindig.
Yes, I am. But I have to tell you, I'm the organizer, but I have a big team of people helping me. It's not all by myself. So
well,
we have a tremendous team.
Cool. Well, I wanted you to chat for a little bit about, we were talking about you heard part of our conversation, right, up until now?
Yes.
Cool. So jump in. What did you want to say? We were talking kind of about what you were thinking about as far as contagious optimism or optimism specifically being a mood, not just some thing that we kind of grab from a shelf.
Yeah. So there's four basic moods that we as humans kind of live in, and a lot of people don't realize that when they look at the world a certain way, when they see the glass half empty, they actually are coming from a place of a mood that they're in. It's their belief system. Moods are long term. They're pervasive. They're an overall way of being, and we get stuck in a particular mood, and we don't know how to distinguish whether that's a mood or something else. We just know that we don't see it a certain way. We don't see the glass half full or half empty. So when you recognize that you're in a particular mood, then you have the ability to make a correction if that mood's not working for you or for people around you. So optimism is truly just a mood. And if you're wondering, like, how do I become an optimist when I see the world as a pessimist, it's actually the mood that you're in.
Oh, well, isn't that cool, Harold, to at least break it down? Because, of course, again, I know a number of people can get a little irritated with, like, going to, let's say, Unity or someplace like that. And it's like, well, everyone's happy and everyone's just think at something positive and it will just be in 5 seconds and, that kind of thing. And that's actually true. I mean, you can shift your mood in 5 seconds or 1 second, actually. But at the same time, to understand that there can be something underlying, I never really understood or put it that way, that optimism was a mood. I think in my life, I look at sort of people as optimistic or not. I kind of categorize people, I have to say, a little bit. So I appreciate that because that is definitely something to work with. You can really work with that. Don't you think, Harold?
Yes, and it's not in your genes necessarily. You can actually modify it with behavior and thought.
Yeah, and maybe a
and
little...
music.
And music. And again, being aware that is what it is. It's like, okay, so I'm in a pessimistic mood. I'm seeing everything that way. And I think people, I know for me, if I'm in a sort of more of a pessimistic mood, and here I have a show. Come on, Sunny, it's your first language, English. That my sister or brother may say, whoa, you're just sort of seeing everything. Like any suggestion I give you, the first word out of your mouth is no. It's like, whoa, what is that about? So I guess what you're saying, Becky, is I'm just sort of in that mood at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. And it can be, something it's not permanent. Moods aren't permanent, but it can stay a long time. So, I mean, how many people have you met? You might work with someone or one of your family members, and every time you're around them, they're like Debbie Downer. Like, you're like, how can I get them to... Right, exactly. And so it gets depressing. And you start to look for ways to hang out with people that are a little more positive and happy-go-lucky and everything. So it's really, happiness to us in our life is so important as we continue to go through the trials and tribulations of life. You want to gravitate towards people that are optimistic, but again, a lot of people don't understand why or why not. So you can be in a mood of resentment about something that's happened in your life. And that resentment mood, has a partner, and that's resignation. And that's when you have the couch potato and the person who always has a negative, thing to say about anything. And those are the people that get stuck. They get grounded. They don't want to do anything. They're just literally just existing and everything, and they're a victim. So everything that happens to them in life as well, it's because that's the way it is. And so they see everything so negatively. So the cool part about being optimistic is you can call anything. You can say happy. I'm a happy mood. I'm in a ambitious mood. I'm in a peaceful mood.
I'm in a hopeful mood. It's
also optimism as well, because if you're not living in a peaceful mood, you will not see optimism. You will not see possibilities. You can't. It's because it's kind of like a pair of glasses, and they've got like rose-colored glasses on it, and that's because that is how they actually view everything with those eyes of ambition and peace and excitement and everything like that goes with that. But truly, you will not be able to see life in a positive ability, a chance to do anything in your life if you're living in that mood of resentment and resignation.
Well, and again, like you're saying, I mean, this can be sort of a habit a bit too, don't you think? It's sort of like you're describing the mood, but it also can be a habit of behavior. Like, for example, I've mentioned on the show a couple of times that I decided to really work on letting go of any kind of judgment. That was my New Year's resolution. And I find that when my mind starts going to that, like something goes on with some person, or I read something in the newspaper, or I hear about a friend of mine or somebody who's doing something, and I start to feel that judgment come in. It's like, whoop, Sunny, remember, you're taking a vacation from judging. You just can't do it. You're not, you're on a diet of judging. Just no can do. Then there's this like calm and this breath that comes into me. It's like, oh yeah, I'm letting that go. The judging was a bit of a habit, though, I think, a habitual behavior that I was doing. I mean, nobody was forcing me, and nobody, but just kind of shifting that. But I'm taking the direction to do it. You know what I mean? So it's my decision. But do you agree that it can be like that with the optimistic or sort of the pessimistic, the hopeful, the hopeless? Do you think it's like that a little bit too?
Oh, absolutely. We have an automatic way of being as human beings. It's automatic. But when we become conscious and aware, like you said, that you recognize that you are being too judgmental, that's when you can make choice. You can choose to not go down that path. So it's always going to be an ongoing. So for example, the live show. You're not going to come to the live show and walk out there and your life will be done, 100% perfect, great, happy. And people wonder why they go to these motivational shows, and then next day they're back to the normal routine, and they're like, wow, I'm back to being a little sad or being a little unhappy or being a little pessimistic. So it takes ongoing work because our automaticness creeps up like this ugly, monster, and we always have to put it back down again. We always have to course correct. We always have to stay conscious that we're in that particular mood. Like you said, you have found yourself falling off that wagon, if you will.
Or just about. And then it's like I catch myself. And that's the good news. Yes, Harold?
Oh, absolutely.
I was just going to say that an event like the Contagious Optimism Live can be a time-released capsule of wisdom and mood shift that you can carry with you, and that you have enough of those and it becomes the pervasive mood that you have in your life because you've washed yourself with it enough times.
Well, and the action steps, and I love that idea of that. The Dalai Lama will talk about that as far as sort of crossing the river, and you can get very, very wet by just kind of going into the river, or there can be, like you say, those places, sort of like the pebbles or the rocks that you can walk upon to get across the river much more easily. And having action steps, going to events like this in the first place. Hey, I'm telling you, if nothing else, you were talking, Becky, about kind of hanging out with with Debbie Downers, wah, wah, wah. or people who are uplifting and just, hey,
Do you have
more
a sound
fun.
effect for that one?
No, I just do it myself. Oh, that one. No, it's just my laugh.
I said, it
Kind
is
of like Woody.
contagious.
Thank you, Woody Woodpecker, kind of. But yeah, so hanging around people like that, being in events like that. I mean, this event's going to be really, really interesting. It's our first one. We'll see what happens. But there are many speakers who are coming. Harold's going to be singing. I think you're speaking, right, Becky?
I am, yes. I'm going to tell one of my stories from the book. So
Cool.
it's we actually have between 20 speakers and performers at the event. We have some really, really great people. And the cool part is that no matter whether you're a professional speaker or not, like we have Bucky Dent, who's the baseball player, and he's a professional, and he's an athlete, and he's spoken all over the country, but he has a real story. And being a co-author in the book, you can read his story in the book, but to see him on stage and have him speak it and be vulnerable and talk about something that he wants to share from the book, you can't replace that. That
No.
is really taking the stories from the book. And I know when David started this project, we didn't expect to turn into a live event. What was happening was so many people were getting so excited about reading these uplifting, positive, motivational stories, they wanted more. And so we wanted to bring it to life. We wanted to put them all on stage. And so you can sit there and watch these people talk about their or perform and their craft and really share it with the community so they can get that real high from being at the event.
Well, and also the depthness, the high, and also like Harold was saying, which I really appreciate that contribution, because to then take it and to have it come up at another time when you need it, and so it's going to be really amazing that way. And I think it's great. I mean, it was David was saying, hey, well, I really want to brand this, and that's why we're doing this show as well. I mean, he makes stuff happen, that man, which I so appreciate.
He does.
It's like, and I wrote down when Harold was speaking and you were speaking, Becky, just the word action steps, or the phrase action steps, because I think these kinds of events or even this show can give people the idea of action steps. Like I'm saying about the judgment thing, it's also about the optimism. It's like if we can catch that we are really being Debbie Downer, rant, 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 and we can just say, okay, that's nice.
All right.
Okay, John, I guess I needed.
There you go.
But no one does it like you.
Well, thank you so much. But really to remember that. And okay, so everybody, you're going to have that hilarious idea in your mind. And so when you start being Debbie Downer, you're going to hear that and you're going to crack up at yourself. Like that's what is so great about life. It's when we can, like the Tibetans say, let's have enlightenment. Let us not take ourselves so seriously. Let's laugh at stuff. Let's have a fun time in life. And again, that sounds simple, and yet again, it's also very profound. Don't you think, Deb? I mean, Becky?
Yeah, absolutely. Resignation is a mood. Most people say, I'm depressed, or I don't feel like it, I feel lazy. That's actually a mood. That the way to get out of it, and there's really only one way to get out of resignation, and that's taking action. So the cool part about our live event, the book, or any kind of action step that you put into place into your world, is that is one of the action steps. There's many. You can create your own action step to get out of it. You can change your mood by picking up the phone and talking to a friend. You can change your mood by music. That's why music is part of our event.
Yes.
Because how
Very
many times have you
crucial.
listened to some music and it has set the mood for you?
Yes.
It could be something motivational and positive and upbeat. Have you ever gone to a party and you don't feel like going to the party, and you force yourself when you get there and you're like, I'm in a bad mood, I don't want to be here. And all of a sudden the music, the people, you start interacting, and the next thing you know, you've had this amazing time.
Well, and it is I'm always beating the drum of community. I think there's so much about community that is really is what is going to save us as a species on this planet, is understanding, remembering, and committing ourselves to our humanness, our community, and like that. And Becky, I'm going to actually let you know that you probably heard that I was going to ask our engineer John to join, because we have, we have some minutes left, but I want John to say some things to Harold, and then Harold's going to write a song from it, or do his song. Right?
I am. Oh yeah, whatever.
So here we go. So
throw it
John,
at
are you ready, or do you need another minute?
Do I just say any words?
Well, you give him an idea, Harold.
What
how
I
you
usually
want him
do
to
is
work it.
when I have an audience, I say, I'm going to give you, the audience, a chance to inspire this next song merely by giving me a song title.
Okay.
Any title you wish, not something that's been done before, something you made up yourself, and I'm going to improvise a song right here on the spot, risking my reputation for your entertainment.
All right.
So-
Well, I like the idea of let the music lift you up.
Okay.
And during Black History Month, we'll say that.
Oh, Black History Month, which is
This-
right now.
right now, yeah.
We're also in the season of nonviolence, which I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
Here we go, people.
Something off the top of my head. We all have influences in our music, and I have many, it's true. Right now I'm thinking of Holland, Doja Holland, those Motown riders, and all that you would do, writing songs for the Temptations and the Four Tops and Marvin Gaye, yeah. There ain't a whole lot the music can't say. When times are tough, music gonna lift you up, yeah, lift you up. Especially in Black History Month. Oh, I'm eternally grateful for all that music that I grew up with, yeah. I think of all the things that I might have missed, yeah. Everybody has things they go through and all their stuff, but thank God we got music that lifts us up. Oh, music lifts us up, yeah. It has an incredible power to lift everybody up, yeah.
All right.
Especially during Black History Month.
Love that. That's great.
Isn't that cool,
I'm very,
John?
Yes. I'm very impressed.
Well, we have time for one more, so the guitar will not go too far away.
Okay, I'll keep it close.
Keep it warm, keep it close and warm. So wasn't that cool, Becky?
I'm already in a better mood, and
Well, it's like the Spanish, estar versus ser. One is more permanent, one is temporary. So that's how I think of it when you're talking about the mood being able to shift. You can go, because it's estar, just for that moment. It can shift.
Yes, and it does shift, and I think that's the something that I appreciate so much about, even linguistically right now. I appreciate that a lot of people are paying attention to the words that we say. We get a big kick out of, for those who know Michael Beckwith, he makes up words all the time, and like disciplines and just religiosity, and just, I don't know, he just talks and just things get put together, and I so appreciate that. And when I listen to myself, which I try to do occasionally, and what I'm actually saying, or I'll say things like, well, I want to get back to that. And I realize, no, I don't. I don't want to get back to that. I want to go forward to the newness of that. And so just always listening. And so that's something that I know you do. And it also does shift my mood. And it does when I listen to other people. And I know when we shift, like moving out of the idea of I can't, there's so much inspiration about sort of taking certain words out of our language, out of our vocabulary, things like can't and I won't, and just many things, or that's never possible, or just those kinds of things, and to just kind of take a deep breath. Maybe there's possibility there. And in that, like in a song and in music, there's, in those spaces, in those breaths, are all the possibility. Don't you guys think?
I agree.
Absolutely.
Well,
yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
I'm glad you guys all agree with me.
I want to leave you.
And you got to go.
I want to leave you with this. I have
Okay.
to say, it's the word of the day for me is choice. Like, our moods are choices. And when you know someone who's not living in a very peaceful, ambitious, or happy mood, if you want to use the word happy, or you're in that mood, it's a personal choice. And when you don't like that mood, then you can choose to make a difference. You can choose to go to Contagious Optimism Live. You can choose to listen to the radio show. You can choose to be around positive, optimistic people. You can choose to read that book. You can choose to listen to that kind of music. And a lot of people believe that choice is not in their dictionary. They don't believe they have choice. Everything is a choice, including making a choice, choosing to do something. That's also a choice. So it really is just taking that action step. It's just really that simple. If the mood you're not in is not working for you, make a choice. Make a change.
Shift the dial.
Choose not to snooze, but to peruse the positive possibilities.
Indeed. And like with my other show that I have, Singing in the Rain, it's all about that. It's about choosing to see and again, to cross-reference the silver lining in anything. And again, knowing that we have the power of one to choose to take the action step, to find out who we are a little more deeply, know what really does make us tick. And like you're saying, Becky, I know you're a coach, so you dig in with people a bit and find out and allow other people to find out sort of what's up, kind of what might be a brewing underneath there that might make someone feel a little more hopeless than otherwise maybe they would be, to kind of let go of that, shed that, and shift it so that it's just a better kind of soil that they're working with, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of there's always a reason why we are where we are and how we see the world. There's always a reason.
Right.
And so if you peel back that layer, peel back the onion, you can really get to see truly what's cooking. I want to bring reference to Confessions of a Sky Bitch because it's really relative to moods. I'm a 27-year veteran of a major airline, and I have seen a lot of moods. I mean, you're putting on an airplane of, say, 200 people, and every person has their own mood that they're in, and then you're mixing those moods, and then something happens. So, for example, from my book, I have a chapter about it's not about the chicken. So when someone's upset that they didn't get their meal, this is back when airlines gave food, I know. We don't do that anymore. But when someone is upset that they didn't get to choose which meal they have, it's really not about the chicken.
Right.
It's about feeling devalued or not feeling appreciated or not getting what they feel like they have entitled to because they have purchased the ticket and so forth. So there's lots of reasons. So it really is when we have a certain way of being, and it's not the happy-go-lucky, optimistic mood. Just peel back those layers. Start to look at why you're not. There's a reason, and start to figure out by asking yourself, what am I not seeing here? Why do I feel this way? How can I make these changes? What action step can I take to make this change? If you look deep within yourself, whether you get help from someone or not, we all have that power to look within and to find out what is holding us back from being happy and peaceful and ambitious and optimistic and so forth.
And we also have, and I know you have to go, Becky, so in a minute we're going to say goodbye to you. We also have the opportunity to, when we are seeing things positively and we are able to be in that place, to find ways to stay in that place. So Becky, I know that you have to go and pick up your daughter, and I am going to let you go because I know you have to go, and I'm going to give the mic back to our friend Harold here. But thank you so much for calling in from Florida.
Thank you so much. I'm total gratitude. So thank you very much. I always love Harold. He's such a big part of our team, and you. So thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you, Becky.
And, I look forward to seeing you April 4th.
That
Yay!
sounds great. So have a good one. Give the baby a hug, and we'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
So yes, I knew she was going to come on the show for a bit because she has to go pick up her little munchkin. So back to us. So now I want you to play another song.
I have a thought that would tie all of this together, I think, in a way. I hadn't thought of it, but because I didn't think about the fact that it was Black History Month, and my principal collaborator for over 30 years is a gentleman by the name of Bobby Womack, who's definitely one of the foremost African-American artists. 50 or 60 albums later, and all the things that he's done. He's a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And anyway, one day we were sitting around, and he was regaling me with some stories, of which he has many, because his life has run through every major artist He was Sam Cooke's guitar player. He was, played as a guitarist for Ray Charles. He, worked with Sly Stone. Just everybody you can think of, Marvin Gaye, all of them. And anyway, I am fortunate to have worked with him for many years. And he plays the guitar left-handed upside down. And at one time, I thought, well, there's the fact that he literally plays the guitar left-handed upside down. Easier for me to say, Harold. He literally plays the guitar left-handed upside down, but also it's kind of a metaphor for his life. And so we're talking about people turning things around together with Black History Month and making something positive out of something potentially negative.
Or making something happen that otherwise may just not have happened. I think of this brilliant musician who could have just said, okay, I can't play guitar, and he found a way to do it. And now all this music later, here we are.
There's a song that came out of that for us. Well, I grew up in Cleveland on the poor side of town. If hard times was a river, then we all would have drowned. My daddy worked a steel mill, trying to make ends meet. And we sang for our supper when there was nothing left to eat. I pulled myself up by the bootstraps of hand-me-down shoes. We learned to sing together to chase away the blues. I found a way to turn my life around. I learned to play the guitar left-handed upside down. Ooh, yeah. I used to sneak my daddy's guitar while he was working at the mill. Till one day I broke a string. Lord, I thought I would be killed. But he said, go ahead and play it, son, but you better play it well. 'Cause if you're just messing with my guitar, then you'll sure be catching hell. So I played those gospel changes like I see my daddy do. I can see behind that frown a big old smile starts shining through. And his pride began to well up as he heard the soulful sound of his old guitar strumming, left-handed upside down. Seemed like everything was turned around, so I worked harder to fit in. But that just made me stronger than I ever would have been. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We sang in storefront churches, my brothers, my dad, and me. And folks would gather round to hear that Womack harmony. And when I close my eyes, I still can hear that sound. I'm playing my daddy's guitar, left-handed upside down. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Left-handed upside down.
Oh my goodness. Okay, John, hand me that Kleenex right there. That was so beautiful. Oh, thank you, John.
Thank you.
Goodness gracious, what a song. Thanks, John. Oh my God, that just so gets me. What a beautiful, beautiful song. Oh, wow. Perfect for Black History Month, perfect for Contagious Optimism, and perfect for everything and anything. And you did it masterfully also.
Oh, thank you.
I really actually just was like, okay, there's nothing to say after that song. that says it all. Whoa. Don't you think, John? And my engineer is pointing at the clock saying, well, yeah, that kind of is perfect because it's sort of taking us right out. So before we go, is there anything that you want to share with us? I think we have, like 1 minute or 2 minutes, John? 1 minute? Okay, thanks, John. 1 minute, okay. Anything that you want to say before we sign off into?
I just say it's definitely a pleasure to be on a show that is sending out positive vibrations to the world, and whatever mood you're in, I think this is a sort of show that will help you choose to be in a better one. At whatever level you are, if you're at 1,600 feet, you're probably at 2,000 now. And this glass now is 1/16 full.
I love it. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here. And as you were singing, I was thinking of that song, Make Your Own Kind of Music, know, that we
what
all
a voice.
do. Oh, thank you. What we do, we do it all the time, all the way. We do it, whatever our music is, it is being sung and people are, hearing it. So let's make it positive music. Let's make it something that's uplifting, shall we, people? And we also know about the power of one. And but again, remembering that however we are, when we walk into a room, we're not hiding. The energy comes with us. The feeling comes with us. People know what's up, whether we think so or not. We're wearing it on our face or our sleeve or our heart or somewhere. So let's just remember that. Let's be good spiritual human beings on this planet, and remember and take a little responsibility for our energy. Let's try that one on for this week, shall we?
Okay.
Okay. What do you think, John?
I agree.
It fits.
So we're going out. This is Contagious Optimism. John, I think what we're going to do when we end this is we can just end with our, Contagious Optimism thing,
Okay.
if that's okay with you. And later we're writing some music to end the show with, but I think it'll be cool to end with that.
Okay.
And until next time, guys, just smile, read our books, and also check out Harold Payne on what's your website, just really fast.
HaroldPayneMusic.com.
Okay,
Payne.
Payne, and there's some really great CDs. And as you can tell, Harold's a rockin' musician, so I know you want to check him out. And until next time, remember, this is Sunny Chayes with Contagious Optimism, and next week we'll be singing in the rain, and then we'll be chatting about Contagious Optimism, and let's just keep it rolling, people. Bye for now.
It's the Contagious Optimism Show with inspiring host Sunny Chayes, featuring best-selling author David Mezzapelle. Real people with real stories of perseverance and hope. Join Sunny and guests ranging from Contagious Optimism co-authors to world leaders as they find the silver lining. Better understand why optimism is so empowering. Be recharged, inspired, and perhaps surprised as they tap into the secrets of a joyful life. To celebrate the human spirit. Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific on UBN Radio, and Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific on Gwen Network TV Stories. Contagious Optimism.